Hi, good morning. Nice to see you all here today. I am Josh Fischman. I am the technology editor at the Chronicle of Higher Education, and I am very happy to be here and introducing a panel on High Tech U, which is going to give you a couple of quick snapshots of what technology is doing, both as an enabling force, as a disruptive force on campuses. And we are going to go with two fairly rapid-fire presentations because we've got half an hour for this panel, and we really wanted to involve you with some tough questions from the audience. And so when our panelists are done, I hope you will pepper them with questions. And I'm going to try a little exercise here. Could you all stand up in your seats? This is good, right? You know, you're stretching, it's the morning. Okay, thanks, you can sit down. So when you ask a question, could you do that? Just stand up?
Oh, okay. Josh, do we have to stand up when we answer them?
No, you're kind of elevated. That's the whole panelist job. But it'll make it easier for us to spot you and call on you. I wanted to tell you a really quick story which I just found out about things that technology is doing on campus that's making it different in ways that you just wouldn't expect. And at Penn State, home of the Nittany Lions and Joe Paterno, they have a very, very good college newspaper called The Collegian, which has been ranked by one of our panelist publications, the Princeton Review. This is Rob Franek over there on the left, as one of the best college papers in the country. And there's something very, very interesting happening up in University Park. There is a student news blog called Onward State, which is just started by a couple of students in their dorm rooms with pictures of The Simpsons stenciled on the wall. And they have been putting this thing out every day, and they have been, on more than one occasion, scooping the Collegian. They have been challenging it for dominance on campus, for more online hits on campus. And one of the ways they put this material together is by using a piece of software developed by the company of another of our panelists, Jeff Keltner of Google, called Google Wave. And Google Wave is basically a very jazzed up version of email where you can also add video and images and other kinds of multimedia. And what these guys at Penn State told us, the guys who were running Onward State, who are sophomores, is that they basically use this as the equivalent of hollering across a newsroom, whereas my newsroom, we holler across the newsroom, guys, let's do a story about this. Okay, I just read that report. All right, get that in then. What they do is they do it all virtually on this thing called Google Wave. They start adding comments, adding ideas, and then actually finding a blogger or a writer to write the story. The writer can then play the tape backwards to see how the story idea developed. You can run it forward to see how the story idea ended up. And this all ends up on their Onward State blog. And it's changing the nature of communication and the conversation on campus. And I think that that is just something that Google probably never thought about when they started experimenting with Google Wave. It's certainly something that college journalism and English professors don't think about, and something that students just kind of came up with on by themselves. And they're getting ads on their site from Trader Joe's. So there's some interesting stuff going on out there, and to tell you about a lot of other interesting stuff going on out there is Rob Franek, who is the publisher of the Princeton Review, who has just come back from a trip to the lovely Claremont colleges in California and spends a lot of his time on the road taking the pulse of what's happening on campuses and how wired and how wireless they are. And he is a good man to give you a lot of insight. So without further ado, here's Rob.
Thank you very much, sir. I can talk from here, yes?
Or if you want to do your slides, you can talk from here.
Yep. That's
awesome. For full disclosure, I'm also the guy that writes the best beer school list and the big party school list each year, just in case you were running. Although my parents would probably deny it. And I also tried to time this talk this morning because I think I have 6 minutes, so I will be quick. 1947, Scripps College, Claremont, California, installed its first shared residence hall phone for the young women of the college to stay in contact with their families. And as I visited Scripps College on Tuesday of this week, a young undergraduate said that was complete fabrication. It was revisionist history, and she said the phones were installed in 1947 so that the young women of Scripps could stay in contact with the young men of neighboring Claremont McKenna College. 1969, Vassar College admitted its first co-ed class. To attract the first incoming class of males to the college, all students were issued portable typewriters to help ease the gender divide gap. 1975 saw a successful student activities funded campaign at Little Guilford College in North Carolina that issued all incoming freshmen lava lamps to complete their cozy rooms. One former graduate and lava lamp recipient said in response to the Princeton Review's unapologetic and unscientific survey, why lava lamps? His response was pithy and clear, because it was groovy, man. 1987, Hamilton College installed the first modern on-campus voicemail system. 1989, Drew University, Madison, New Jersey, issued all students laptops and a minion of 3.5-inch diskettes to load up DOS. Folks, the list of these amenities will go on and on a per-campus basis. But I ask you this question. Were these students different? Were they better? Did these technology actually help them in their classroom experience, their learning experience, and their life experience? Full disclosure, I should tell you that I am an unapologetic listener to both college-bound students as well as current college students. And I'd be a fibber if I didn't tell you that I am in delightful awe of current college students as well as the college-bound. And I had a very well-intentioned gentleman that had come up to our booth here at CES yesterday that told me in very clear terms that American high school students are poor writers on a national scale. And I didn't much agree with this guy, but I did agree with the sense of his statement. Current college students and college-bound students are different than students just 5 and 10 years ago. Today's students apply to college earlier. They volunteer more. They spend less time at home than any other students in history. I'm sure I'm not telling you something that you don't know for parents of high school students. Those same students are better prepared for college-level work. They are more engaged politically. They are more socially aware. And they are more demanding of the practical outcomes of their liberal arts degrees than any other student. And it is that last fact that I find the most weighty, and that's why I bring it up today. Students demand more of the practicality of their college experience than students just 10 years before them. And I should tell you that myself and several of my Princeton Review brethren here today hear this from our students on a daily basis. And that's a heck of a lot of students. Last year alone, 1.3 million students came through the Princeton Review queue using our classroom courses, our online resources, consumer website, and also books. That's 1 out of every 2 students in 2009 that applied to college. And as you might imagine, those students are pretty demanding. In 2009, I'm very proud to say that we have some concrete examples of how those students pushed us at the Princeton Review to help them learn differently. And one of our lectures this afternoon is talking about our iPhone and iPod Touch application. We have a new application called the SAT Vocab Challenge. I bring this up specifically, and then I will speak about some schools, because it has been ridiculously successful. Because it cements so clearly one of the Princeton Review sacred cows of concepts that we've been teaching in our classrooms for a long time. Learn what you need to know. We have long known that vocabulary building is the easiest and the quickest way to improve your SAT scores. 30% of all the verbal questions on the SAT are solidly focused on vocabulary. And why we're so proud of this application is that it was designed to help students master 250 of the most frequently used words on the SAT in a pretty short and portable and even a fun way to when to do it. So my point is that we've learned some things at Princeton Review in 2009 on how to better use technology to support our students. And one of my day jobs is to help run our R&D department at Princeton Review, those actual testing gurus that create our classroom experience from the SAT through the MCAT. My other head is to talk about college.